It's a clinic for skills.
It's a clinic.
How do we get skills better?
From a sick skill to a healthy skill. This looks very red to me.
Ooh, the E security rating jumps out to me.
Bloodbath. That's a very good, very right explanation. Yeah. Now, not only it will review it, it actually gonna improve all those items that it found and make it much better.
Right.
Let's see if that works. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of this #Skills Clinic.
Absolutely.
Or is it the first episode? It's
one of them. It's one of those two.
It's
for sure.
Not the first one or not the first one. But anyway, what is #Skills Clinic?
So the Skills Clinic is really about how we can go about understanding how good a skill is and improving it. It's a clinic for skills.
It's a clinic.
How do we get skills better?
From a sick skill to a healthy skill.
Because the problem is, people who create skills typically don't understand whether their skill is actually creating an impact. And it's very much done through anecdotal evidence. I think my skill's working because it did this thing once, and I assume it's doing it perfectly all the other times. So that's what we're trying to debunk a little bit, and we'll show how we can understand and make skills better.
Yeah. So this is, we did a talk yesterday at QCon with the one and only Patrick Dubois, and we went through patterns of like bad context engineering. One of them was vibe-eval. Like you evaluate your skill based on your gut feeling.
Okay.
That's exactly that.
Nice.
Let's see if we can do better. But before we get to that, there is one more thing that we can do. We can actually give people an advice of how to even start with skills.
Yep.
Right. So first of all, what skill is? Skill is structured process or context for your AI agent to do something in a repeatable way.
Typically markdown. It's written in plain text. It's markdown, and it's the structure is interesting because it's a little bit of structure at the top.
Yeah.
And then it's pretty much unstructured after that,
Yeah.
because you can essentially just write what you want, and then it just sits there waiting, and this is the key thing, waiting for the agent to pick on it and use it when it feels like it needs to use it, when
Yep.
it feels like it can't do things itself without needing this skill to encourage it to do things a certain way.
Right. And this is a big issue with agents. Generally, they're kind of over eager. They will try to do stuff assuming that they know what you want the outcome to be.
Yep.
So skill gives them a little bit more of structure and process and algorithm of what we really do. Let's see an example.
Yep.
So what people usually do nowadays on the internet when they want to their AI to write an app, they're basically looking for a prompt. To copy paste, to get ideas from. Let me show you. I found one of those prompts online, so let me open here VS Code. Here it is, right? It's called Express REST API Generator. I want to generate REST API for it to do app, so this is perfect.
Does it do it quickly, or is it using the Express JavaScript?
It's Express JavaScript. That's why it's called Express, I think. I have no idea.
Maybe. I suspect.
Oh, it's right here, Express.js. Here we go. I mean, I skimmed through it. It looks very good. It says like it has a database layer, and it has authentication. What else it has here? Design philosophy, which this is what I like, right? It's kind of what I appreciate. Pragmatic simplicity, this is great. Flexible typing for TypeScript without fighting it. Dynamic queries, built-in observability, like the real good stuff, right? I liked it. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna ask Claude Code to implement it. Use the Uber prompt to create a to-do app. That's like what everybody uses, so we'll do it as well. The REST API. Add what do we need? The authentication, and what else? Import export. On top of regular tasks things. Add mark complete, right? and delete. Okay, now
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, let's see what it does. I mean, the prompt was good, so it should produce like a working app, I guess. Now, what I think we should do is actually assess if it's good or not, and there are tools doing that. One of them is Sonar, SonarCube, SonarCloud.
Yep.
It will give us an idea whether the app that Claude will do is good.
Now, SonarCloud tests quality as well as security.
Yes,
Is that right?
yeah. So it does both, which is good. That's exactly what we need, right? So it will install some dependencies and build it. So I think it's almost done actually, because it's already building it, which is
pretty quick.
nice. Yeah. Let's
And
see.
in fact, it's it's doing the npm install.
Yeah. Something failed. It will fix it. Claude Code is very smart. Yep.
Oh, there we go. So it's
Okay,
bumping
bumping
the
versions from very old one to nice. What else is gonna get here? And then we will actually commit and push.
Yep.
And once this is done, we can connect SonarCube and see if it's good.
And so SonarCube runs in the. So you said
SonarCloud.
commit it. SonarCloud.
Yeah.
So you commit it and push it, and then it's running on the pull request, or
It will review the. Look at that. Done. Perfect. Okay.
Excellent.
1 minute 36 seconds. 36 seconds was the loop of the wrong dependency. So it's a
Around
minute.
a minute, yeah.
Amazing. All right. Commit and push. And once we have it in my GitHub, we can go ahead and connect Sonar.
Yep.
Okay. Git add. And okay. Pushed. Yeah, pushed. Okay. SonarCloud should pick it up. Let's see if we have it configured. Analyze new project. Where is it? Tessel demo. Here we go. Tessel demo, set up. And previous version, I guess. Create project. Let's just make sure that it is picking up what we need. We do it in... where is it? Analysis method here. Automatic analysis, it's set up, I guess, and let's see if it actually works. Oh, okay. All right. This looks very red to me.
Oof, the E security rating jumps out to me.
Oh yeah, well that's your
security
that's
background.
your sneak background. Yeah, blockers a lot, all red. This is not great. This is not great. Okay, first of all, we want to improve it, and as we said, it's probably worth converting it to skill and see if we can see if our skill is good. So first of all, we need to Sonar finished. Can you see the results? Let's see if we can get the results into our Claude, because this is how we can iterate.
Yep. So
based on data, right?
And it's pulling that. It's okay. It's got the MCP connection into SonarCube.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Okay. Status done. It found the project. Okay, great. Bloodbath. That's a very good, very very right explanation. Yeah. Okay. So here is the summary, and 43 issues, 5 security hotspots, 48 findings total. Okay, not great. Not great. Basically, to make any prompt a skill, all we need to do is add a tiny bit of metadata upfront, right? So we add YAML to Markdown because this is where our industry now, and it's terrible. And we need 2 fields, right? The name. I'm going to be very creative. And the description. As a proper lazy developer, I'm going to copy the name to the description because who cares?
We'll
now-
see. We'll see who cares.
That was a spoiler alert.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So now I think we have a skill. Oh, and we can rename it to skill, I guess, right? So
Skill MD.
Skill MD. Yeah. Where is renamed here? Skill MD. Skill MD already exists. We don't need two skill MDs. So we're going to delete this one because we don't need to. And rename it again. Skill MD. There we go. Skill MD. I just announced that it's skill.
Yep.
I consider it a skill.
Yep.
Okay. What we can do in order to now when we are in skill territory,
Yeah.
we can already start making some checks. Right. So we can do it from command line. We can do it from Claude Code. Let's do it from command line for just for the laughs. Tessel skill review. Skill MD.
Now the review is an interesting one. So the review, what the review does is it essentially determines how good the skill is, not in terms of the impact it's making, but the quality of how that skill's been written, right?
That sounds to me like a unit test.
Very similar, yeah.
It will look at the skill itself and tell us whether it's structurally correct.
Yes.
And where the active. Okay, so average score 37. Not great. Not great.
No, not good at all.
Not good at all. Let's see what happens. So validation check passed because, well, I have name and description, but the judge evaluation is terrible. So description is very bad, 23. Now, this is where what you mentioned, the importance of the description comes in. So there are three parts that are critical for a good description. Specificity. Mine is not very specific.
Yep.
What does it mean, express REST API generator? Completeness, it should describe what it does again, like definitely not there. And activation, where is activation? Conflict risk. Conflict risk is about if I have two skills that both mention express REST API generator, which one the agent should pick.
And that's the key piece. Which one should the agent pick, right? Because this is what the description is providing the agent with the information. The agent reads the description and the name before it loads the full skill, and it loads it based on if it thinks that the task it's trying to complete it requires that skill for. So this is actually, you mentioned activation, this is actually a key piece of the activation because this is the information it has to determine whether it should activate it or not.
Or this one or any other with the same name.
Exactly.
Right. And then our judge, which is LLM, right? But we run Claude to evaluate it, says, okay, well, you have the content is moderately efficient and the content is organized in logical sessions. Great. This is why I will give you 52 and not 0. But first of all, the content is not great. But second, this skill provides actionable executable code, but teaches extremely dangerous security anti-patterns. And that's exactly what Sonar showed us.
Yes.
Right. So we can use LLM, our judge, to optimize it. And the way we do it is -- optimize.
Yeah, seems simple enough.
Once we asked our judge to optimize it, now not only it will review it, it actually going to improve all those items that it found and make it much better.
Right.
Let's see if that works.
So this is using an LLM to make suggestions.
And this is a very common practice in data engineering. It's called LLM as a judge, and it uses another instance of LLM or another model or just like outsider view to actually improve what the other LLM did. Well, in our case, it's improving what someone else did. Okay, this can take up to 1 minute is a blunt lie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. All right, so here are the results. Diff. Okay, there is a lot of fixes, I suppose. Yes, a lot of fixes. Well, it definitely deserved...
Changing quite a lot.
It deserved a lot of fixes. So yeah, the diff is everything. Summary changes. Removed 2 description non-instructional phases. All code examples. Description was left unchanged as the reviewer rated it. What? Okay. The reviewer rated it exemplary. Apply those changes. Yes, apply those changes. Score from 50% to 90%.
Very nice.
40% improvement after 3 iterations.
Yep.
Actually did 3 iterations. Let's do review again and see what it thinks about it now. Okay. So it says 90. This is 89.
That's the non-determinism of
That's the
LLMs,
non-determinism at work. Yes. So, but yeah, we got much better. The description is now 100% after the reviews. And the content is now 77%, which is also pretty good. It probably can go higher, but I think it's good. Look at the changes. The description did change.
Wow, it did.
Okay, so now it is much richer.
Yep.
It actually mentions all the keywords that will help with activation.
The activation from the agent, yeah.
And the workflow now changed dramatically. We have a setup and other examples. And obviously, those examples are with all the learnings about the anti-patterns and what's not. All right, so what we're going to try now is generate exactly the same app.
Yep.
Now, here's the interesting part. What we did now with eval was improving the future code before the code was actually written. We have here not a guarantee, but a promise that the code that we're going to write will actually be good. So this is kind of, shift left, right? We go from checking what's going on in production, to checking in CI, to checking in the code. Now we are in a negative territory of shift left. We are checking the future code that doesn't even exist.
Yeah, this is in the brain of the LLM. It will help.
No, well, if it works, that would be pretty cool. Okay, so now when we have a skill, we can actually pack it as the context artifact in Tessel tile or Tessel plugin, same thing, right? So how do we do it? We have a skill for that, right? So we can say install skill tile creator skill from Tessel registry. So we can install a skill that will create a tile or a plugin from the skill as a packageable context artifact, right? So the tile creator installed. Next step, convert the Uber prompt into proper tile. No, we now have a skill improved and fixed. Pack it, and it's called skill MD into a tile.
So a tile is actually a little bit similar to a plugin, right? In the sense that it can contain context. One of those pieces of context is a skill. And so what we're going to now do is turn this skill MD into a bigger tile. So it's essentially packaged into something called a tile, which can contain other context. In this case, it will just contain the skill.
But it also can contain multiple skills.
It can, yeah.
And rules.
Yes.
And what are rules?
Rules are interesting. So the way that skills are almost like not lazy loaded, but loaded when they are. Well, I suppose it is lazy loaded, isn't it? It's loaded at the last moment when the agent thinks it needs to read it. A rule is something which is kind of like more added into the agent MD or the Claude MD, whereby it's absolutely text that the agent needs to read every single time. It's something that it needs to be part of the core, definition of how agents do things. You've got to be a little bit careful with rules in the sense of if you bloat too many rules in the agent, all of a sudden you start running out of context. That's one of the key things that a skill kind of is nice for, because you don't load all skills at once. You load it when you need to. So you've got to be a little bit careful. So there is a little bit of a difference.
Yep. All right. So let's see what it did. So this is, by the way, the tile JSON is the metadata of the tiles that we have installed. Yep. And we have here our tile creator skill. But we also created our skill. Here it is. It's tile express API generator. Yep. And this is its tile JSON. Now look what Claude did. It not only created the skill, it also created some rules. The express security rule is exactly what you mentioned. And that's a list of all those terrible things not to do that it learned from Sonar.
Absolutely. And this is interesting, because these are the things we've got to be very, very careful with not putting too much in here. And this is nice. This
is a good
concise,
list.
This is short.
Yeah.
Whereas the skill would be much longer, and only when we need to do that certain thing, we'll load it. Whereas this is core information that we should be doing every single time when generating any code.
Yeah. So what we can do is something like publish it to Tesla registry and install it locally for you to use. We want both. And it actually says it right here. Okay, 357 front-loaded tokens is okay.
And it's pulling this, because it's running Tesla in the background, all this is Tesla data that it's kind of like pulling and sharing with the client.
Okay, so now it is both installed and published, so other people can use it, at least in my workspace, or maybe public. This is private, but it can be public.
And I think you need to recycle the
let's see.
Claude to pick it up, I assume?
I don't know.
I think you can maybe even type in / followed by the name of the skill, and it will see if it has it or not.
No, we can do it anyway.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
Okay,
no restart needed. Okay. Regenerate. With the typo. You know, the whole like AI thing was invented for me.
For typos.
For me,
typos,
because I cannot type.
Yeah.
So it picks up everything. It doesn't care about typos. This is so much better than the command line, in which you have very okay, follow the skill patterns. Look at that. Now it's going to rewrite everything. Look, secrets.
Yeah.
That didn't happen because it hard-coded passwords and stuff in previous one. This is very cool. Okay, this also should take like 2 minutes.
I love yellow mode.
Yeah, oh well, that is the best, absolutely, for sure. And we can trust it fully with our machines.
I mean, nothing on my machine. That would be.
Of course. Well, I mean, what can possibly go wrong?
Okay, so it's done.
I think so. It's install and build. Wow, that was even faster, I think. The build failed again. That's consistent. The first build.
See, if it had just been plain text, it would have been fine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, now it actually does the right thing. Okay, build is clean. 1 minute 37 seconds. The first one 36.
Yes.
Okay,
right,
okay. And wait for Sonar. Okay, let's see what our Sonar thinks now. Okay, pushed, waiting for Sonar to pick it up. Let me know when it's done. I'll pull the results. And what we need to do is we need to go here and see if we have analysis in progress. And we do.
Excellent.
It will take a minute and we will eagerly refresh, although we probably shouldn't. But, you know, we can never trust. Okay, what's going on now? Okay, we went from what it was like tons of security issues to actually one. And this one is SQL queries. Oh, okay, it still does the SQL queries, but that's an amazing improvement.
What did we ask Claude? Let's ask Claude.
Yeah,
oh, wow, there you go.
Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Look at that.
25 down to
we
1.
went to like maintainability issues to whatever, and now it's actually rating A from F.
So 25 down to 8 maintainability issues.
Yeah. And let's see what is going on. Now, this is an amazing improvement. And we can just go ahead and try to do better.
Yeah.
Now, one of the reasons we still have one issue is because remember how we created this skill.
Yeah.
We created it just based on what we think will work. And we did unit testing, right? And the unit testing show real issues, and that was our review.
Yep.
But we can actually do better. We can do more of an end-to-end testing of the skill.
Yes.
Again, before we writing code. What we did here is we tested in production.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
We generated the code and looked if the code is good.
Yeah.
So that's a production of the AI model. It's not a production of our software delivery, but we kind of tested in production. And we shouldn't do that. We actually should do tests on our skill before the code is generated.
Yes.
And that's our next step.
Yes.
And this is the
Task evals.
Task
So
evals.
task evals are about, we talked about the quality of the skill. This is all about how it's written, thinking about best practices of how skills are written. A task eval is about identifying the impact of a skill. This is running an LLM with and without the skill and identifying whether the task was completed better because the skill was there, or has it actually regressed? How much better? Are there things we can improve? So the idea is we create scenarios, each with evaluation criteria, and we are scored based on the results, based on what is created afterwards. If that's great, we get 100%. If it's not, we get far lower. And you can identify how to improve your skill based on the results that you get back.
And this is what we're going to do next.
Absolutely.
On the same project, we want to get to 0 issues.
Absolutely.
We're close but not there. We'll see if evals help.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned to the next episode of #Skills
Skills Clinic.
Clinic.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.